Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Elisa Sladzinska, and I work for the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, BACP. Welcome to the BACP Business Education Workshop Webinar Series. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. On behalf of our Commissioner, Rosa Escarino, I want to inform you that business licenses can be processed online where applicable by visiting chicagobusinessdirect.org. And any emails and websites that I mentioned will be posted in the chat box, so you will be able to reference them there. And if you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about the program, please visit chicago.gov/business-education. To help guide your business and employees during Chicago's reopening process, please visit chicago.gov/reopening. Also, BACP and the City of Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications created Shy Biz Emergency Alerts. You can opt in to receive targeted emergency alerts for the business community. If you are interested, please visit chicago.gov/Shy Biz Alerts. We encourage attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. And today's webinar will be how to market your business with a LinkedIn business page, presented by Francisco Ramirez of Chimbly Consultants. Welcome, Francisco.
Thank you for having me today. I will get started. I'm going to share my screen here. I think we're good to go. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, September 11th. And, I'd like to take a little moment to remember all those people that we lost many years ago in this horrible tragedy on September 11, 2001. And so thank you for being here today. My name is Francisco Ramirez, and I am a co-owner at Chimbly Consultants. We are a two-person small business that focuses on supporting other small businesses and entrepreneurs with their technology and marketing. On the tech side, we do website design, CRM, and phone system support. And I personally focus on the marketing side of the business. I do social media management for small businesses. I do social media analysis. If you are interested in seeing where your social media is today, I do those analysis and reports. And then I also do one-on-one workshops and consultations. I'm excited to be here again and today presenting on LinkedIn. So let us get started. Today's objectives, you will get an understanding of how LinkedIn business page can help your business and gain the tools and understanding of how to manage that LinkedIn business page. So if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, I want to take a couple steps back today before we jump into the business page. If you do not have a LinkedIn profile, just for yourself, your personal self, or you have one, but you haven't really been managing it or you kind of ignore it, I'd like you to think about these questions. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur, a C-level executive, an opinion leader, a college graduate? Do you consider yourself a tech decision maker or just a decision maker, a business owner, an MBA, a job seeker, an MBA graduate? Are you in the nonprofit sector, a senior level influencer? Do you consider yourself a professional? If you answered yes to any of these considerations, this is a reason why you should have your LinkedIn profile. If Twitter is where you go to meet people you don't know and Facebook is where you go to talk to people you already know, then LinkedIn is where all of you can meet up and get stuff done together. So as a business person, as an entrepreneur, this is the platform where you get stuff done. Let's go back to why set up that LinkedIn profile if you don't have it or you've been ignoring it. It is one of the fastest growing social media platforms out there. We all recognize Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They've been around and they've have masses of people, but LinkedIn is actually one of the fastest growing today with over 660 plus million member pages. So it is a ginormous network around the world. There are decision makers and executives on that platform. You really won't see a lot of those executives on Instagram or Facebook because they consider it a waste of their time, but you will see them on LinkedIn. It's a platform where you can get skill, get talents, or referral acquisitions. You can network with like-minded professionals and individuals. Another great thing about LinkedIn compared to these other platforms that exist out there is the authenticity and recency. It is very hard to fake who you are because it includes job titles. It includes linking it to where you're working. And people tend to keep their profiles up to date. So it's more recent profiles, unlike the other platforms out there. And it's free. So why not join a massive network out there of professionals for free? So a couple more benefits of this profile. You can join like-minded LinkedIn groups. These groups are professionals and experts that are sharing content, asking for advice, posting and searching for jobs, and networking with others. So these groups are very tailored to what you're seeking as a professional. These groups also are tailored to brands, associations, societies, support groups, causes, publications, industries. And so once you're in this network, in the future, if you need some advice or if you need a job, you're seeking for a job or want to refer somebody to a position, these groups within the platform are really good for that. This is a good platform to exchange knowledge and ideas. If you're thinking of a new product, a new service, as a LinkedIn professional, you can send that out to the world of LinkedIn and get advice or get feedback before you decide to move in that direction. It's a good way to stay in touch with your colleagues. A lot of you don't want to add your colleagues on Facebook or Instagram necessarily. And so this platform allows you to continue those relationships without sharing too much of your private information. If you're looking for advice, expert advice, those decision makers, C-level executives, this is a place where you can do that. Industry news. Sometimes, searching on Google for news on technology, news on real estate, it gets a little complicated and you have to do the research. By following the right people, by having those networks and those connections on this platform, you get those news in your feed, and so you're up to date. Opportunities are always people are always exploring opportunities and putting opportunities out there that you can go ahead and grab and investigate more. And finally, when you do have your personal profile, your job is listed, your business is getting that extra exposure because you're listing an owner, co-owner, founder of your business. And so that is extra exposure. People can click on it and learn more about your business. So these are reasons why you as a person, as a professional, as an entrepreneur, I suggest and you should be on LinkedIn, the platform. But we're not here to talk about your personal profile. We're here to talk about the LinkedIn business page. So how about your business? If you have one already or you're thinking about one, does that business need its own profile? You saw and you just heard why you as an individual need a profile. I truly believe that your business needs that profile as well. So why? 30 plus million businesses and organizations have profiles on LinkedIn. And so you're joining a mass network of businesses who are already developing and putting their information out there. Since Microsoft bought LinkedIn in 2016, they've invested a lot of energy to making this platform what it is today, which is a massive network opportunity with way more things that it used to have before Microsoft came in and invested. So LinkedIn business pages are really moving in a direction where you want to be part of that community. As I mentioned, decision makers and executives are on the platform. So if you're promoting a product through your personal profile, they might not be, might not be connected to those executives or decision makers, but they can see your business page because they can follow it without feeling like there's a direct connection. And when you're promoting that, they can see it and it can become something great for you. It is the most used social media platform amongst Fortune 500 companies. Domain authority is 98, so it helps with your SEO. If you're unfamiliar with domain authority, it's a search engine ranking score that predicts how well a website will rank on search engine results pages. So if your website is linked to LinkedIn, you're already getting extra bonus points on Google search when they're searching for your type of business because you have a link to a really high domain authority, which is LinkedIn. If you're looking for new customers, this is a great place to be. And another reason, it's free. There's other business associations or platforms, social media platforms that are for businesses or specific type of industries, but they charge you a membership. This one does not. So you can pay for it for other advanced settings, but for the basics, it's free and it's a great place to get started. So as we compare the business page to your LinkedIn profile, I want us to think about a couple of things because I've heard a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs that I work with say, I don't need a business page because I have my personal. I promote everything my business through my personal. And so I hear that, I understand that, it's another page to manage, but these are some reasons why I strongly suggest you consider this business page if you don't have one already. It helps with your SEO. Your personal page is not necessarily linked to your website. And so the business page is actually linked to your website, which helps with that SEO, those connections, those outbound links that help with organically being searched on search engines. So that's a big reason. Promoting your products and services. You can promote your product and services on your personal page, but your colleagues, your networks did not connect with you so that they could always hear about these products and services. That's not the reason they connected with you originally. And so they might disconnect with you if you're continuously promoting that. By having this business page, you can promote it and then you can share it through your personal page. And so it's a kind of a double whammy. You kind of get the best of both worlds. You have control of your business information. In your personal profile, all you can put is that you work there and very limited. In your business page, you can actually tell a story, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. You have specific content related to brand and businesses. You can connect with target audiences, especially if your business is a B2B business, business to business. This is one of the premier platforms to be on for that type of marketing. It gives you free analytics. Your personal profile does not give you the type of analytics that can make you that can help you make data-informed decisions. And by having a business page, it supports your business exit strategy. Have you considered what your exit strategy, business exit strategy is? Are you going to sell your business? Are you going to pass it down to loved ones? Are you going to close it down? So if your potentially exit strategy is to sell it, this business page is part of that asset. And so if you have followers, if you have great content, you can add it to what the value of the business is worth. Your personal page is not going to be an asset when you try to sell your business. Let's talk more about business to business marketing. If you are a business out there whose target market is another business, this is the place to be. Business-to-business marketers consider this the #1 channel to distribute content. Out of those marketers, 94% of those use LinkedIn to market to other businesses. The secondary source is Twitter with 89%. Facebook and YouTube are both at 77% for business-to-business marketing. LinkedIn makes up more than 50% of all social traffic to B2B websites and blogs. So once again, business-to-business, it will drive potential customers and traffic to your websites and blogs if you're on this platform. 80% of B2B leads come from LinkedIn marketing, according to these marketers who are putting content out there. And it has been known that business-to-business marketing on LinkedIn is creates 3 times more conversions than Twitter or Facebook, as I just mentioned, because they're marketing more. They really love this. The decision makers and the people that their target audience is on this platform. So if those are not enough reasons, I don't know what else I can tell you, but we're going to jump in on the ways to capitalize once you do have your LinkedIn business page set up. So number one, this is a way to organically, you're going to build your brand and presence. You're going to be able to tell your story and make sure your business information is correct and accurate. You're going to be able to share content, update slides to SlideShare. If you're unfamiliar with SlideShare platform, it is a platform to showcase, share, and store your PowerPoint presentations if you are a presenter like I am. And so that's a social channel that you can establish your brand through topics like social media topics. Once I post my slides on LinkedIn, they get stored in SlideShare, so it's a bigger network than just LinkedIn. And so when you are ready to invest in the future, once you've set up your business page organically and it's doing well, you can pay for ads, you can pay for in-mail emails, and then you can pay for sponsored content as well. But we're not going to talk about that today. So your business page is basics are the profile image, banner, tagline, the about us, call to action. That is what you're going to see at the beginning when you set up your business page or when somebody comes to your business page. Make sure that your profile image is crisp, it's professional. I recommend a logo that kind of speaks to your brand. Always stay on brand. Come check on it every so often. Make sure that the specs are still good. And when you look at it as a visitor, that it looks vibrant and it's something that you want to investigate more in. Your profile banner is like a cover photo if you're familiar with the Facebook or with LinkedIn business page. It's the behind the profile image. Add some flair to it. Right now it's a standard template. You can leave it as such, but make sure that you kind of let your personality show, your business personality, that it's on brand, that the colors meet and match the logo or the profile picture. The tagline is one of the first things that people will read. It's only 120 characters, shorter than a tweet, and it should concisely describe your business. This is kind of the motto of your business, the tagline of your business. It's something that like tells a story without going into much detail, because the about us right underneath it will tell that story. It is about 2,000 words aloud and allows you to tell your story. So who are you? Where are you based? What do you offer? What are your values? What is that voice? Make sure that you're speaking as your brand while you're telling that about your business. Why should people care to click on that and continue going down to see your content? There's also a button, which we call the call to action button. You can send people to your website. You can put a phone number where they can call if they're on mobile. And so always make sure that this call to action button sends people to where you want them to be sent. And it's a place where a landing page or somewhere that makes sense. And that your website is updated if you're sending people to your website. And most of all, importantly, is to complete that profile. Make sure it's 100% complete. LinkedIn does a really good job of telling you if you're missing information or if something doesn't seem right. I strongly encourage you to check often to make sure that that profile is 100% complete so that you don't have any issues. Once your page is complete, you can begin posting. And so what type of posts are we talking about? LinkedIn allows you to put pictures, videos. A new feature is to upload a document or a long post like a blog, and you can actually read this document by clicking next page, which is a really cool feature. You don't have to click on it and it opens up in another browser and then you're lost. So all within the same platform. You can celebrate an occasion. If you have employees or staff members or a co-owner, you can put a post that celebrates it. It's a very specific type of post. You can create a poll for your audience. You can share a profile, say, welcome so-and-so to our network, or we're partnering with so-and-so, and you share that profile so people can connect with that, and you're now an influencer in that way. You can also offer help. kind of saying like I'm offering this type of service or this for people who need blank. And so it's a different type of network than just promoting. And so the recommendations are to post updates. What's happening in your business? What's new? What's coming down the pipeline? It is also very recommended to share news, share ideas, share things within your industry. People want to learn. This is a platform to be creative and to learn. And so if you're sharing really interesting news happening around your area, your neighborhood, your state, this is a good place to do so. Share behind the scenes content, what's happening in the development process of this new product, anticipation, product development, job openings or internships once you get to the bigger stage of your business. Positive reviews, sorry, that's misspelled. Positive reviews, make sure that you are promoting anything that you're getting on Google My Business or on Facebook. If you're getting those positive reviews, go ahead and transfer them over to LinkedIn, sorry. And then milestones and celebrations. If you're celebrating anniversaries at your business or milestones, you got X amount of sales, go ahead and celebrate. And people want to celebrate. This is a platform for entrepreneurs, business owners. They know how difficult it is to reach certain milestones, so go ahead and celebrate them. Do not copy and paste from other platforms. If you're on Facebook business page, if you're on Instagram business page, that's awesome. That's great. But don't just copy that post and put it on LinkedIn because the audience is different and people will react differently. Make sure you tweak that post or add a different picture or decrease the number of pictures so that the content is differentiated and it seems catered to this audience. As you're posting on LinkedIn business page, remember to target your audience. Who are you trying to reach? Don't try to reach the masses. Focus on your ideal customer. If you haven't done the whole workshop of who is my ideal customer, who am I speaking to, I strongly suggest you take some time to really determine who is that person you're speaking to, because then your content is going to resonate to that audience. Make sure you sit down and develop a strategy, a posting strategy. So what are you going to be posting? Are you going to be posting useful information, informative? Are you going to be entertaining? Are you going to be inspiring? What does that look like on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis? Because once you have a strategy, you can really eliminate the thinking about what should I post? Oh my goodness, I haven't posted in 7 days. I'm going to just pull something from nowhere or out of the internet and post. By having a strategy, you really eliminate that being flustered when it comes time to posting. Are you going to educate? Are you going to share insights? So by having a calendar, it really helps. Testimonial Tuesday, maybe every other Tuesday you post a positive review that your company has received or your business. So thinking about that, develop that strategy. Don't overpost. LinkedIn is very, very careful about their algorithm and ensuring that nothing seems spammy. They want to keep this platform very informative, very connected based. And so if you're overposting, they will actually might put you on a 30-day waiting period, or they might re-evaluate whether your page should be allowed. So don't overpost. Use your brand's voice. Always think about what type of voice is it and stay consistent. When appropriate, mention people in the network and with your connections by using the name of the person. And so more people will be able to see that post because you're connecting. Make sure you have a call to action every once in a while. What do you want your audience to do after they read your post? Do you want to send them somewhere else? Do you want them to go and visit a site or your site? Do you want them? What is that call to action? Always remember, after somebody reads a post, why did you post it? What do you want them to do? And remember that 80-20 rule. We probably know it through the sales funnel and sales department, but the 80-20 rule in marketing is 80% of your content should be useful to the person receiving that content. 20% of that content should be 20% should be limited to promoting your business or direct sales. So you don't want to be selling. Let's do some useful information, some educational, some inspiring, and then 20% reserve it for an actual direct sale. And that's where your calls to actions differ. So hashtags. When you're posting, it is recommended to use hashtags on LinkedIn business page. My recommendation is no hashtags on Facebook, yes on Instagram, yes on LinkedIn. So maybe in the future we can have a hashtag conversation to go more in depth. But briefly touching on hashtags, it allows the content to be more discoverable. It helps also connect like-minded individuals on LinkedIn. So if you're a business, you can follow 3 hashtags as a business profile. And so whenever anybody posts on these 3 unique hashtags, you get a notification that you can respond as your business to this hashtag that might be of interest to you. So it's a really nice connector. Make sure your hashtags are work appropriate, unlike Instagram where you can create any type of hashtag and it's kind of fun. This one is more appropriate, professionally like-minded. Don't shorten words, TBD sometimes. Well, TBD is a popular one, but shortening something like that, the audience is definitely different than those other platforms. We consider the recommendation is to limit it to 5 hashtags. Don't overdo it. And then you can do 2 kind of different things, as I'm going to show you right now. You can put the hashtags within the content, or you can put the hashtags after the content, but make sure whatever decision you make, that the content, the visual aspect of your post still looks professional. And so in this case, Ripple, why is now the right time to revolutionize global hashtag payments? Learn how banks can leverage hashtag blockchain technology today to emerge as an industry leader tomorrow. And then there's an article. 2 hashtags. It works well because it's within the content. It's very clean. And those 2 hashtags have something to do with the article that is being posted. And so this is a great example of how to put hashtags within the content. As you can also see, there's a question mark after the hashtag. If you put the question mark as part of the hashtag, then the hashtag won't be followed because very few people will follow a hashtag that says hashtag payments question mark. So being very careful with your hashtags in the content is important. The second example is, Hayes, are you preparing for a telephone interview? Follow these 4 tips to gain competitive edge. Then they put the link to follow or where to read more. And then underneath, they put 5 hashtags that have to do with that post. So these are 2 different styles of posting with hashtags. Both work. They're done very well. They're done professionally. And the hashtags are related to the content. So you get to choose what you want, but ensure that when you're thinking about it, this is where the strategy comes into play, that it makes sense for your brand, your voice, your business. By the way, a little known fact, in 2019, the most popular hashtag was innovation, something to think about. And then the other 2 were management and digital marketing. So those are the top 3 in 2019. And if you're a local business, which I'm guessing a lot of us are, you can use a hashtag that serves your local community. So hashtag Wicker Park, hashtag Englewood. And so that's one hashtag that is very specific to your neighborhood. So people who are following that hashtag will find that content that you're posting and hopefully make these connections that can lead to a sale. So now we're going to go into a couple examples of some of these pages that I feel do something positive. And so Hayes, Hayes tells us about coronavirus. So if right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, coronavirus is on everybody's mind, and Hayes took the time to update their profile page to mention, the first thing they mention in their About section is coronavirus update. We will continue to deliver our services, and then they go on. And so if you haven't done that in most of your pages or in other networks, it's something that's recommended so that you allow people to know where you stand in the midst of this pandemic. So their banner, it's blue and white. Their logo is blue and white, so they keep that brand, those brand colors in play. And so the tagline is powering the world of work. As you can see in the banner, powering the world of work, they repeat it. It is a tagline that should be repeated as part of marketing. The more you repeat something, the more it sticks, the more people remember it, so it's always positive. And so this is visually appealing, but most importantly, I really appreciated that they brought to light the coronavirus update and where they stand as a business. We're moving over to teleperformance. I'm going to show you that one actually over here. So this is teleperformance. As you can see right away, I see the purple colors, which are really vibrant. And then the background in their banner is also purple. And over here, so it's really right away on brand, these colors. You can also get a sense of the vibe of this company without reading anything further. It is an outsourcing company, and telemarketing, I take it because of immediately you see the headset on the employee, and so right away visually you know, or you get a sense of what this business is all about, which is really good news. Then their tagline is 3 words. Each interaction matters. Goes back to telephones, talking to people, telemarketing, and then you now go down and think about, okay, what are they doing? Looking at their content. Video is always a very, very positive thing. There you see the purple, staying on brand, really something that is important as you consider how you market your business. And so right away, without even reading, you can see masks are being worn, probably some update. It's something that just tells visually something about the business and the times we're living in without having to speak too many words. So that's an example that I appreciated as I was looking at other examples. So the next one we're going to look at is Ross Law Firm, which is a local family-owned law firm in the Northwest Side suburbs, much more local. You're going to see that the content is varied. They share reviews and testimonials, and we're going to look at some of the PDFs that we spoke about. So let's go check that one out. So right away, right here, I see that the family owned, the 3 lawyers are right there in their profile picture. And then 3 reasons why you might want this law firm: wills, premarital agreements, and business law. I also see just visually the state of Illinois and the star for Chicago. So not only they don't serve on Chicago, it's a statewide. So without even reading anything, you can see the banner and the profile image are used in a way to educate the potential customer or whoever runs into this page without doing much more than speaking. Then the tagline is a little bit more descriptive. Visit the website, about us. And so here's what we were talking about. This is a testimonial that was brought over from somewhere else. And it's visually, the colors, red, gray, white, it kind of follows that on brand. It's testimonial. There's a podcast here. And then this is what the document I was talking about. They uploaded a document for PPE, Small Forgiveness Loan Plan, a new memo that came out. And so you can actually read the document without leaving the site, or you can download it if you want to expand it and then download it. And so it's a couple of options there as a business to do stuff that is a little bit different than what we are used to in other platforms. And then I want to compare that law firm's business page to J. Raman Law's business page. And so this one is also on brand. You can see the colors right away. The logo is different. It's a logo rather than a picture, an image. But you see the logo both on the banner and on the profile image. So I'm going to bring that one over. So here you have the logo right here. Then you have the logo right here. And more detail, it's passionate, zealous, detail-oriented. Passionate, zealous, detail. This is the third time we see the same tagline as the banner. Marketing, repetitiveness is a good thing. And then you go into the about. So this one is not so clear what type of law as opposed to the Ross Law Firm. So this one seems a little bit bigger. The perception is the city of Chicago based on the banner. And it takes you a little bit longer to figure out what type of services can I get, but maybe that's what they're going for, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The first post is bankruptcy, lawyers, okay, I get something out of it. Once again, on brand, this is a quote. And so when you go back, the colors, it's on brand. So something to think, there's another testimonial, as we saw in the other one, brought over from somewhere else. And so catered and made to fit this business page specifically. So 2 different law firms, both in Chicago. One is portraying small, family-owned, a little bit more focused on 3 things. This one is a bigger law firm, or actually, this law firm, it's small as well. It's 3 lawyers, I believe, once I did the research. And it's very small, just like the Ross law firm, but it's portraying a bigger image, a law firm versus a smaller family-owned. So you can do that by how you portray yourself on LinkedIn. ICE9 Online is a digital marketing agency. They have great content. Their banner, we're going to look at it in a minute. What I appreciate about this one is, once again, you see digital agency by day, market research lab by night. Kind of gives you an essence of what they're doing. They're doing research at night so that they can help you during the day, right? And it is listed right here again. It's the same tagline. So 3 examples, and I'm not using these only because that's the same as you look through other very well done business pages. Same thing you'll notice. There's their logo, and then this business page uses really good content. I actually follow them to learn. I learn from what they post. And so this is a content about passwords. Nothing related necessarily to digital marketing, but they want to inform and give free knowledge to their base or their followers. And so did you know that hacking is no fun? And so there's just something to consider about your passwords. As you go down, they have this really cool LinkedIn content marketing tactical plan. If you don't know where to start and how much time to spend on LinkedIn, this plan is really good. I actually shared this plan from their site to the Chimbly Consultant site on LinkedIn. So if you go and see ICE9 Online or Chimbly Consultants on LinkedIn, you'll see this tactical plan, which is really a solid visual to get you started. They also, there you go, we have testimonials, a different form of testimonials, but they have their testimonials 5 stars and why they're proud of it. And then video. Cannot tell you how important video is in today's world. If you're using video, make sure it's professional looking, or if your brand is more like you and it's you who is speaking to the client, then just videotape yourself and be authentic, because that's always not necessarily a bad thing if that's how your brand is speaking to its clients. So those are some examples of content, of the page, of the feel, of the look. Hopefully you took something out of it as you continue to think about what your business page should look like and how to use it in a way that works. Wanted to talk a little bit again about this tactical plan, which tells you opportunities, what to share, objectives, metrics, action items. Print it out, put it somewhere, download it, look at it. But it's a really nice way to just think about how to use the platform. ICE9 Online, you can find it on their page or on Chimbly Consultants, because I shared it on behalf of, because I loved it so much. So I want to move to the final portion of this presentation, which is data, analytics. If we have data, let's look at data. If all we have are opinions, let's go with mine. So I found this really interesting, because as you're thinking about your business and everybody's trying to help you grow your business and what to post and how to post, and everybody has a gut feeling or opinion or something that they like. But really, when you look at data, which is free on the business page, you can really start to make those data-informed decisions. And that's, in my opinion, one of the best things about having business pages on all social media platforms. The data that LinkedIn gives you are followers, visitors, activity, and updates. So this is all information that you can look at as you're looking at your posts and how people are responding to it. One thing about LinkedIn that's really different than the other platforms as I've experienced them is you'll post something on a Tuesday, and people will be reaching that post a month, 2 months after you post it. The formula, the algorithm behind LinkedIn is definitely different than the ones on Instagram and Facebook, where it feels like you have to be posting and you have to get those likes. And if you don't get those likes within 36, 48 hours, you're done. Your post kind of disappears. In LinkedIn, a good post, a good solid post will last a long time. And so by looking at the data, it really helps you to determine what is working, what's not. And over a trend of months and weeks and in a year, you can see how to adapt that strategy. So we have, take a look at data now. I'm going to use Chimbly Consultants page just to look at data. When you have your page, you have home, content, analytics, and activity. Activity shows you everything that you've posted and how people have reacted. And then analytics shows you what we want. So you can look here in the past 12 months, how many followers. You can trend it. Okay, March was 14 organic. What happened in March? You can go check, did I invite people? Did I not? How about maybe the last 6 months? You can do by date as well, specific dates. So followers, and this is very new, the month that they followed you. You can see all your followers and what month they followed you, which is, this is like this summer it was added, which is really cool. Where they come from. If you have a lot of followers from, say, Mexico, but your target audience is not in Mexico, it's something to reconsider. How do you get followers where your target market is? And then other companies to track. As we're a tech company, they suggest we track these companies and kind of see where they are. So it's really just really informative data that can allow you to make some decisions as you move forward. When we look at visitors, you have page views and unique visitors. You can also have a differentiating between desktop and mobile. So you want to see if people are seeing you on desktop or mobile, you can change that there. And then same thing, you can do 6 months, how many visitors, all pages, home page, about, insights, people. Gives you a lot of information to look like. Unique visitors is different than page views. And so really allows you to say, like, are certain posts sending more visitors to our page? Are certain posts allowing people to, or encouraging people to see our page views? And so really, really good way to look at that data. Finally, we have the analytics. You have updates. And here's a long list of updates. You have impressions, unique impressions, clicks, reactions, comments, shares, engagement rate. Engagement rate always helps to see how many people are engaged over the course of time. So percentage-wise in the month. Something happened in June, 22% of people were, our followers were engaged in June. So I can go back and see what content did I post in June that created this. And sometimes you'll realize that the content was actually posted in May, but people didn't start interacting with it until June. So it's really cool to see that data. Impressions, how many impressions. May, you had 200 organic, as you saw, and then June, you had 84. So probably what I just saw in the engagement rate percentage was that whatever we posted in May really resonated in June. It's really critical to see that because it allows you to then evaluate what was posted in May versus what was posted in June, and you're not wasting valuable time as a small business owner. Tons of data, how many clicks you get, how many reactions you get. And then down here, it shows you the posts that you've posted and kind of gives you the very similar, who it was posted by, which admin, what was the title of the post, when was it created, impressions, clicks, click-through rate, click, and then reactions, comments, shares, followers. So really great information as you are diving into the world of posting and then making informed decisions on how to use that data. Because the data is an ability to, data allows you to really look at all the information that is out there and use it in an informed way to create a different strategy or to put different tactics into play. So data isn't the everything, but it is sure an amazing tool that can save you some time. I'd like to end with some do's and don'ts as you consider your LinkedIn business page. Do strategize your content. Do use strategic hashtags. Have a call to action. engage, comment on other people's posts, like their posts, share their posts. Do post often, 1 to 3 times a week is my recommendation. Once a week if you are starting to figure out, but the more you post, the more data you're going to get, the more you're able to then evaluate that data and then make decisions based on it. So if you're just starting, then post a little bit more frequently. Do add the LinkedIn icon to your website and your blog so that they can follow and come and follow you here. Don't overpost spammy. LinkedIn warns against update spam. So businesses that post updates excessively are subject to review by LinkedIn and could risk having their page deleted. That is a quote from LinkedIn, and so don't be spammy. Don't ignore your page. If you do have a page, it's going to show up on Google search if somebody's searching for it, and then they go to your page and sees that there's no content. That's actually worse than having a page than not having a page at all. So if you're not going to manage it, if you're going to ignore it, I recommend maybe reconsidering that strategy. Don't overuse hashtags. Don't self-promote. Remember the 80-20 rule. Don't forget about analytics. They exist for a reason. Take some time. Our social media analysis that we do for clients actually does a deep dive on analytics. I really am a true believer in that. And then don't post clickbait. This is really a different type of platform. So you don't want just those clicks and those likes just for the sake of it. You want to make sure that it's engaging, it's useful material that you're posting, and it's worthwhile for other professionals. I really thank you today for joining me on this Friday morning to learn about LinkedIn. We're going to open it up to questions now, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. If you are not, to find out when I'm presenting, I do workshops throughout the city now. Webinars, but yeah, would love to have your feedback as well. So we're ready for some questions if there are any out there.
Hey, Francisco, thank you so much for the in-depth overview of LinkedIn. We do have questions coming in. First question is, when you create a new business profile, is it automatically attached to your personal profile? What if you are not ready to share it yet? Can you keep them separate?
Great question. Yes, it will be attached to an employee of the business. So if you have 4 or 5 employees and all 5 list that business as their place of employment, any one of those 5 can create that business page. So they do have to be connected. It will be attached once it's created to your business profile. So if you're not ready for that, I would recommend you take some time to think about it. Don't do it until it's ready to go live. So yeah, but it will be attached.
Yeah. Posting on LinkedIn as a business. Should we post in a positive way when more businesses sign up with our subscription? For instance, I am in a business for selling software service, and once I hit, say, 1,000 clients signed up, is it viewed as a positive post?
I would focus on why those 1,000 people signed up. So create a story or create the value. What's the value of people signing up? And in that celebration, you can add 1,000 people signed up, and this is why they signed up. And so give those people that reason to maybe go to your page and think about, whoa, let me check this out. If 1,000 people, I want to be part of those 1,000 people. But give them a reason. 1,000 people signed up is not. I wouldn't consider that a strong enough post to make people inquire more. But yeah, definitely a good idea.
And this is kind of twofold. One is there a fee for creating a LinkedIn business page? And the second question is, what advanced settings do you recommend for purchasing on LinkedIn?
So it's completely free to set up your profile, and your business page is free. Now, they do have a subscription that allows you certain things as you're growing your business. The subscription gives you other tools and other data, especially if you're going to do ads and mail in. And so that's another level that we are not touching on today because I focus more on the small business and organic. But in terms of settings, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question directly right now because I don't have more in-depth knowledge of just like what these subscriptions really do for businesses. So free for now, but yeah, you can pay for more in-depth information. Data's more one of the things they are pushing to target to your ideal customers.
How does one get a trending rank? I heard there's an algorithm to be met.
The algorithm definitely serves positive, good content. So number one is the amount of followers matters. The more followers your page has, the more likely more people are going to get those impressions, which means more people have an opportunity to engage with that content, which means if more people engage with it, then it trends upward. So that's kind of like the organic way. Of course, you can pay, and that's a different beast. Secondly is there's influencers on LinkedIn. And so if you're part of those groups that I mentioned earlier and follow influencers, when they post, you're commenting, you're going to get more people to your page. As the algorithm is all about connections. And so if you're connecting and commenting and creating this like network on LinkedIn, you're more likely to be trending whenever you post something. And so it's not an exact science, or there's no exact formula. It's all about content. I go back to taking the time to put really good content out there, because that's ultimately what's going to help you trend organically upwards.
Do you have advice for startup entrepreneurs who are putting together their first post for SlideShare?
For SlideShare, I would pick the topic that you are focusing on as an entrepreneur. Maybe it is introducing your company, your vision, your mission to the general public. And so a PowerPoint that introduces who you are, why you created what you created, what's your value proposition. Posting that on SlideShare as your first one is always a good thing, right? Because people then can always go back and learn more about you as more content is being developed and uploaded. And so maybe that's a recommendation. If you're not ready to do a presentation like that, then focusing on your top product or top service, the one that really started it all, and creating a presentation on that and the value proposition of that, and that would be my second choice.
Can anyone post on the page, or does the administrator allow who can post?
Admins have to have, people that post have to have access by the admin to post. And so even if you have 10 employees, not all 10 employees can post unless they do have admin access to post.
Is it considered spammy or unprofessional to reach out to other businesses to sell services through my LinkedIn business page?
Ooh, that's a great question, because I get those emails all the time and I ignore them all the time. Think about back in the day when you were going to networking events and your purpose was to meet people, to sell your product and services, to connect potentially or meet connections, right? So there's always an objective. As you're thinking about posting, I think you have to think about that same mentality. How are people going to receive my message? What is my message? And so I truly believe that a connection can go much longer and eventually turn into a good referral or a good customer than if you approach it directly as a cold call or as a sale. And so my recommendation is to maybe connect in a way that's not threatening and not salesy. See if the connection is accepted, and then try to see how you can set up a meeting or how you can find common ground. But I would not personally recommend going like straight to that sale in those connections, because most people might probably ignore them.
LinkedIn is not a priority for the company I am looking to take over. But if I can't post or keep up, is it better to just not update it until I can get more interest?
Yeah, I think sitting down and strategizing how to effectively use the platform is better. Waiting is better. The status quo is probably what is and has been for X amount of months, weeks, years. And so by waiting a little bit longer, it's not going to hurt you. And it is actually going to make it seem much more professional and much more thoughtful when people start coming to that page. So I would consider waiting and just sitting down and really strategizing what you want it to look like, who you're talking to, what the posts are going to be, what the content is going to be, and then kick it into full gear.
If I publish an article, is it only viewable to my network? Where do I find articles that have been posted by other people?
So number one is anybody that posts anything, followers are going to see it. So people are following you, and your network is and you share it. I'm thinking about it as a business page, but if you publish it as a personal, then yes, your network will see it. By using hashtags outside of your network, people will see it. And by people being engaged with that content, with that article, then more people are going to see it. And so it's kind of that kind of organically growing. Number one is who is following you or who's part of your network is going to see it, hopefully. And then if they engage with it, then the algorithm will keep showing it to other people. But your hashtags will also, I don't know if those of you on LinkedIn, you sometimes get a notification say, respond to this blank post because it has the hashtag that you have been interested in. And so anybody who's following a hashtag that you posted on that article is going to get potentially an update or a notification. And so if they click on it, then they're going to see that. So they don't necessarily have to be part of your network because the hashtag kind of created that community. And so there's various ways, but I go back to content.
Which is a good segue to any recommendations on how to develop your tagline or people who help to do this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I'm going to plug this amazing program called Scale Up, sponsored by the WBDC, Women's Business Development Center. They're recruiting right now for 2 cohorts, and it's a 9-week intensive program, 3 hours every once a week, but they go through that process of developing a tagline, your brand, thinking about your voice. And so that's one program. I know there are people out there who focus on that. I think sitting down and just really putting a bunch of words, brainstorming a bunch of words that represent your brand, your mission, your vision, and then slowly narrowing it down to like, what is that one sentence? If I only had one sentence to tell a potential customer about my business, what is that one sentence? And so hopefully throughout the process, you can zone it in and really be as specific as possible, because then the next level is 30-second speech, elevator pitch, right? What do you say in 30 seconds? But right here, you don't have 30 seconds. You have kind of one sentence. So yeah, email me. Maybe we can talk some more.
Okay. And the Women's Business Development Center is a great partner with our department as well, with BACP. And I did post Scale Up was the name of the program. It's posted in the chat box, so you could reference that program there.
Fantastic program. Highly recommended and they do have some you have to be in business 2 years, at least 2 years to qualify, and X amount of revenue and whatnot. But if you have been in business for 2 years, highly recommend that. Free, completely free.
Is there any criteria for sizes or images/videos like a Facebook banner?
Yeah, they do have recommendations. Once you open it, once you start to upload, it'll tell you the dimensions. Maybe I can show you really quick. Let's see. But yeah, once you try to upload something, edit. So 1,128 pixels by 191 pixels is recommended for the banner, and for the that's for the banner. And for the image, should have it there. But yeah, so once you go in there, it will definitely allow you to see what those pixels are. But there are some recommended.
The slide of the cheat sheet went by too fast. Where can that cheat sheet be found?
So it can be found on the two pages that I mentioned, Chimbly Consultants, which is ours, and ICE 9 Online. So Chimbly Consultants or ICE 9 Online.
And can you go back to the slide with your contact information, Francisco?
Of course I can. There you go.
There it is. Does LinkedIn for Business have a premium concept like for the individual page? I have not subscribed, but it's tempting because LinkedIn withholds data unless you have a premium subscription.
Yeah, and that's where that's kind of the next level of the premium subscription and then ads. I think you really need to look at your budget. I always say, like, look at budget. Are you ready to start investing a bunch of money, and where so, if that investment is ready to be had? And so what are you really wanting out of the premium subscription? It's a really good question just to ask yourself. What am I going to get that I can't get organically? As a consultant for marketing for small businesses and other businesses, we always look at the big picture. I was like, what's going to get you more bang for your buck as you're starting to invest money? And Google Ads is just a thing that works really well. It's very targeted and they have history of formula. And so thinking about where you're going to invest if your marketing budget is limited is really important before you start subscribing, in my opinion.
This one's a great question. I have both a personal and business page. My business is a sole proprietorship with no other employees. I struggle with which profile to post from since it is just me in both cases. I have many more personal connections than I do business followers at this time.
Fantastic question. And one of the reasons I chose ICE 9 Online is because it's a small, small business, but Matt is the owner. And so he posts on his business page the most critical, important, something that's really going to be useful. And then he shares it from his personal profile. And so once a month, I see it, maybe every other, maybe twice a month, he'll post on the business page, share it on his personal. But if you follow Matt on his personal, he's engaging left and right, like engaging with people and commenting and creating more connections and bringing people to the discussion. So as a business owner you are the only person in your business, that is a really good strategy. Your business page is out there putting information every once in a while, but you are speaking and talking to other businesses and liking through your personal profile. And so I think that's a really nice way to mix both and not forget that the business page does need content, and slowly those organic followers will make their way to that business page. But as I go back to saying, when your exit strategy is put in place and you're willing and you're looking to sell your business page is part of that asset. Your personal is not. And so you want to always think about that for the future.
So this question wasn't asked, but it may be relevant, so I'm just going to ask it. What are your thoughts on when you're creating a business page and posting on your personal page saying that you created a business page and head on over there and like it over there, like doing a little cross promotion? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's wonderful. I highly recommend it. I always, I say like, hey, if you ever want to know what we're up to in our business, if you ever want to get information on marketing, I don't always post that stuff over here, so follow us over there. And it's a nice way to invite people without being forced to hear about your business all the time. So I do it every once in a while. And then, when I have a good post, like I'm going to post this, right, on LinkedIn later on, maybe Monday, I will say, hey, did a free workshop on Friday on LinkedIn. If you don't follow us, do so you can find out when we're doing our next free workshop. And so you're inviting people, and then I share it through my personal profile. It's a way just to cross without feeling like, oh, again, the same thing over and over. So I highly recommend it.
Great advice. Can you create your business page and not publish it until complete?
I don't know that. That's a great question. Can you send me an email and I will get back to you? Yeah, it's been a long time since I've created an actual page, and so I'm not sure if there's like put in all the information and then save draft or publish. So if there's a button that says save draft, then yes, you can wait. But if there isn't and just publish or close or exit, then it's one or the other. So maybe you can send me an email and I can do some research and let you know.
Is there an e-commerce function on LinkedIn?
As far as I know, as of today, no, not yet. Facebook just started theirs this summer, and so it's something pretty new for these platforms. And I'm not sure if LinkedIn wants to go in that direction just yet. So as far as I know, but if somebody knows otherwise, you can please put it on the chat and inform us.
Mm-hmm. As a sole proprietorship, should I have the LinkedIn icon on my website linked to my personal profile or my business page?
If it's a business website, highly recommend the business page. If it's a personal website, personal profile. But I'm always all about promoting the business itself. And so by linking the business page to the website, you're creating that connection on SEO. So it helps with search engines and finding you. So highly recommend. Or you can do both, right? But do it in a way that makes complete sense, like, oh, I'm clicking on the. But, usually if somebody finds you on your business page, it's going to tell them immediately, like, who works there. And so your information is going to come up and it's going to send them over. And so I think there's already a connection versus if you send them to your personal, they say connect. Very few people actually read like your whole history. Then they have to click to your business page. Then they have to click follow. So it's just a longer process, a longer journey to get that follower. If you send them to your personal page, it's a lot faster to get them to be a follower and then to follow your profile if you send them to your business page. So in terms of clicks and amount of time people spend finding and what your objective is, I recommend the business page.
How can I find out about the actual mechanics of setting up a business page?
Well, you can potentially Google it, but I mean, yeah, I think Googling it, or I support small businesses and setting it all up, and so that's other option. Or there are people out there as well who probably can help you one-on-one and the mechanics of setting it all up. So yeah, Googling it and doing all your research and kind of figuring that out, or kind of getting assistance from somebody.
How effective is it to be liking and commenting on other businesses' posts?
Very effective. This is a community. I think what we used to think about in terms of social networks and social platforms as competition, and oh my goodness, that page has X amount of likes and I don't, so I'm not going to like it because I don't want them to have more likes. I think we should rethink that mentality and instead think about it, hey, they have 500 likes. What can I learn from them? I want to follow them. And so I want to comment on them because then those 500 people can start seeing that you're part of this community and come follow you, because people can follow X amount of people. It's not limited to one or two. And so it's not a competition, it's a community. And so think about it that way, a learning community, a business community. And so how can we learn? So commenting on behalf, like, hey, really like that. Hey, great feedback. I'm going to take it and use it. That's just part of conversations and networking. And I think it looks more positive. And eventually, I think you're going to be able to reap those benefits than to ignore and pretend that they don't exist, and jealousy or not wanting to give them that extra engagement. Highly recommend to be part of a bigger community than not.
You showed us testimonials. How are those graphics created? Through LinkedIn or on a separate platform and pasted in?
Great question. Canva is a free designer platform, so you can create a free account, limited but free nonetheless, and you can design really cool graphics for free, and then you kind of design them there. I personally, for our business, we use Spark, which is an Adobe Spark. Sorry, it's Illustrator kind of program, and so we design on Spark. But there's Canva, there's other free design platforms out there that you can really create some neat graphics, and then you come over to the LinkedIn and then you post, and it's an image. So you hit photo, upload your photo, which is the graphic, and then you put your post. So that's kind of the process.
Where is the call to action button you mentioned? How does that work?
Yeah, the call to action is at the top of your page. So let me do this. Can you see that?
Yes.
Great. So view as a member. Here's a call to action right underneath the logo. And so you can decide what you want that call to action button be. And then once you click it, it takes you to, if it's a mobile, it's a phone. So yeah, you can definitely write there your call to action.
Is LinkedIn a good bet for a t-shirt business?
Once again, think about your client. Who is your customer, your ideal customer? It's business to business, highly recommended. If it's business to consumer, think about where that consumer is, what's the demographics, what's the psychographic of that consumer. That's why creating a profile of your ideal customer is really important. I highly recommend to create a profile, somebody that you can visualize is going to buy your product. And so if your profile, if your ideal customer is on Facebook, then I would go over to Facebook, because we do, as entrepreneurs or small business owners, have limited time. And so I highly recommend being on 1 or 2 platforms and doing those really well, than being on 4 platforms and really doing kind of like half being engaged with them and forgetting and not posting and not commenting and not engaging. So I think the key question is business to business, LinkedIn, highly recommended. Business to consumer, think about where those consumers are. And then that's where I would put my energy at first.
And just a quick note that this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, which is the direct link of youtube.com/Chicago BACP. I'll post that link in the chat box. So if there's anything you missed or need to review, you'll be able to head on over there and rewatch the webinar. We have a couple more questions. Can/should you create a hashtag with your business name?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So my intuition said yes, but if nobody knows that that hashtag exists, nobody follows that hashtag, when you post that hashtag, it goes into the world of nowhere. So there's 2 ways to think about it. Number 1, your content is really good, and you create that hashtag and put that hashtag along with 4 other good hashtags. People who follow those other 4 love your content, realize that there's this authentic, unique hashtag that you're always using. Boom, they start following that, and so then it starts working in your advantage. So yes, content is not so good, not getting a lot of engagement. This hashtag that's really unique and creative isn't really getting any impressions or any traffic. So at the end of the day, I'd say, sure, go for it. Why not? You never know, and you're preparing for long-term success. But be aware that it's a slow battle, and it's going to take some time. But I think it's a good idea, but you might not see the success right away.
I don't see any additional questions. So with that, Francisco, do you have any final words of wisdom, any advice you would like to share as people head on over to LinkedIn right now?
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is one of many platforms, right? Like Google My Business, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn. as small business owners, as entrepreneurs, I understand that our time is limited. I feel it. I'm part of that community. And so my recommendation, once again, is to focus on where your ideal client, ideal customer is. Do that platform really well, and then slowly grow that to other places. But Google My Business, 100%, you should be on it, and then choose your secondary platform. Google My Business first, and then one of these other platforms, or really consider getting some assistance and help so that they can really come in and guide you, so that you can focus on other things that you're more passionate about. But yeah, it's a really good, powerful platform. So have fun with it. Good luck.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Francisco, for starting your morning with us and sharing some great insight into LinkedIn. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day and a good weekend. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.